friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Glenna if you are new here. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be preparing your St. Patrick's Day feast today. So just so that we know about like timing wise, it is 3:30 right now and I'm just about to get started, and I'm expecting guests to arrive between 6:30 and 7. My parents are coming over to eat this with us. So this is a meal that is pretty special to me because my grandmother was, on my dad's side, was Irish, and she used to eat corned beef and cabbage quite often, and I never got to share that meal with her to my recollection, so I'm really excited to just dive in and try to learn it and follow along with her heritage. So this is the book I'm using. It's called Irish Pub Food, and it's by Publications International, and this recipe is on page 4. Now, when I have a book that I cannot link, well, I'll find the book itself to link for you, but I will not be linking the recipe because I feel like that would be unfair to the publication. So just follow along the best you can. I will show everything that I'm doing, but I won't be putting the recipe in the description box. So you're gonna have to follow along, but I will be very descriptive about what I'm doing to make the meal come out the way that I'm cooking it. The next book is from Taste of Home, and it's called Irish Food and Fun with 76 recipe cards, and we are going to be making dill and onion batter bread from here. I'm very excited about this bread because I love bread, and I just feel like soda bread, to me, Irish soda bread, which is popular during this time of year, to me, I think of Irish soda bread as a dessert, not a like side dish for a meal. Traditionally, you would serve corned beef and cabbage with a stout and with a side of soda bread. So there are a few things that I need to get together before I start cooking, so I'm going to go prepare some ingredients so I can share with you, and we're gonna get started with the corned beef and cabbage first. So we're gonna kind of make these intermittently, just so that you're aware. So when you're watching this before, hopefully before you're doing your grocery shopping for St. Patrick's Day, you can kind of get a feel for the flow of the evening and how to make sure that your food is ready. So yeah, we're going to dive in. I'm gonna go get some stuff together, put on my apron, of course. I'm not wearing a dress today. This is the first cooking video I haven't been wearing a dress in, and it's because I was super comfortable in the outfit I put on this morning, so I didn't want to change. So that's the situation. I'm gonna put on my apron and we're going to make dinner together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this almost 3 pound corned beef, looks like this, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom of the, what's this called? Dutch oven. We're using a Dutch oven to make tonight's meal. So I'm gonna slice that open. We're going to put the corned beef on the bottom, and then I'll put the vegetables around it. I'm not really sure what the order things are supposed to go in here is, but I'm putting this in first. It's kind of gross. I always put the container that raw meat comes in into a Ziploc unless my trash can is completely full, because I don't like my trash can to stink. All right, so I have my corned beef in here, and normally, you know, you'd wash your meat, whatever, but this is already brined and seasoned to be corned beef rather than just like a slab of brisket. And we're going to put, I have 2 onions, 1 sweet onion, 1 yellow onion that I just sliced and sort of separated out their little layers. So I just kind of sliced them about, I don't know, like a 1/2 inch thick. I have 3 celery stalks cut into a 1/4 inch and 3 carrots cut into a 1/4 inch that I'm just going to kind of like add around the meat. Now I'm gonna take my thyme and my parsley and add that in. So I have some sprigs of thyme here. Now I'm an over seasoner. I like things to taste really good. So I'm going to use about a clump. I'm not following the recipe to a T. I never do. I always just kind of use it as like a jumping off point to get started. So I'm gonna use about this much thyme. I don't particularly love thyme, but I think this is gonna be good. I have a bunch here. This is my parsley, a handful, and I'm gonna cut off this most of the stem off the bottom. I'm just gonna stick it along the side here. To get this ready to go onto the stove, I'm just going to add enough water to cover the ingredients. I'm going to take this over to the stove, bring it to a boil, turn it down to a simmer, and let it simmer for about 2.5 hours. Okay, so it's been an hour since we started simmering our corned beef, well, just our corned beef at the moment. And that is still, oops, that's still over there cooking. And we are going to get started with our bread. So the first thing I'm going to do is dissolve the yeast. So I'm just using an active dry yeast packet. And I'm just going to dump that into the bowl of my stand mixer. I'm gonna have to rush a little bit because I didn't realize how fast I would need to do everything. But I have water that's heated to 110 degrees, and I'm going to pour that over my yeast, sit in the bowl a little bit and let it dissolve. And I'm going to scramble and get the rest of the ingredients ready, and then I'll come back and we'll continue to make the bread. We're going to take our warm milk, which is also heated to 110 degrees, and add that into the bowl. Next, I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of softened butter and add that. Next, I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar. Oh shoot. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Can I just say how much I'm laughing at myself that I reached my hand in to save the salt? I was literally like, oh, I'm gonna scoop out the salt. Okay, back to regularly. Yeah, sorry. Okay, we're gonna be restarting the bread. In my defense, they look identical.
Do you think the bread's gonna be upset?
It's a little salty. Okay, I'll be right back. I can't believe I poured a tablespoon of salt. That's so much salt. Take 2. Now I'm all paranoid like I'm doing everything wrong. 1 egg. This is sugar. This is sugar. We're all clear. This is sugar. 2 tablespoons sugar. 2 teaspoons of dill weed. 2 teaspoons of dried minced onion. That's what this is. Half a teaspoon salt. That's so much less than a tablespoon. Just so we're all very clear. 1.5 cups flour. And now I'm going to take it over to my stand mixer. I'm going to mix it on low, on like a low speed for about 30 seconds with my dough hook attachment, and then on a high speed for 3 minutes. Now I'm going to add 1.5 more cups of flour to the batter and continue to knead it in the stand mixer. The dough is pretty sticky after adding the rest of the flour. Now I'm going to cover it and I'm going to put it in a warm place for an hour. I like to put my dough into the oven with the oven off and the oven light on to let it rise, because I have found that that is the warmest and most fruitful location for the yeast to let the dough rise. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'll see you in an hour. The next thing we're going to put together is some horseradish sauce. So I'm taking this little jar. I'm just going to take some sour cream. I don't know, maybe 1/4 cup. My family's not super big on horseradish. Next, I'm going to take this prepared horseradish. Oh, which smells really strong, like a small spoonful. Maybe that's too much, I don't know. A pinch of salt, maybe 2 pinches of salt, and then I'm gonna mix it up. I'm just gonna put this in the refrigerator until I'm ready to serve dinner. So I was rereading the recipe for the bread, and in hindsight, I should have started the bread first and had it be the first hour and then switch off like that. I started the soup first, but the soup is like a 3-hour soup, and the bread is supposed to rise for an hour now, and then I'm supposed to move it to another container and have it rise for another 45 minutes, and then it cooks for 35 minutes. So that's not gonna work with the time frame. So I'm doing something you really shouldn't do with bread, and I'm going to kind of cut its rise time. So it's gonna be a pretty dense bread, which I'm okay with. I think my family's gonna be okay with. I'm gonna leave it there for 30 minutes and let it rise. Loaf pan for 30 minutes and then cook it for the 30 minutes because that'll average out time-wise to having everything else ready to go. So that's what I'm doing. Ideally, this would be like an hour later. As you can see, I didn't really show it to you beforehand. It's already risen a lot. And I'm going to move it into my greased loaf pan. It smells so good. Like, this bread is gonna be bomb. Now that I have my bread in my loaf pan, I'm going to put it back into the oven with the oven light on and the oven off for 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna pull it out and keep it rising for 10 more minutes while I preheat the oven. It is the 2.5 hour mark for our corned beef to simmer. Ideally, at this time, I'd be putting the bread in the oven to cook. That way everything is done at the same time. But the corned beef and cabbage will be done at least 30 minutes before the bread, just because I'm kind of messed up the timing a little bit. But right here, I have 1 head of cabbage cut into 8 wedges and a pound of red potatoes cut into fourths. And I'm going to go ahead and add this into my corned beef right there on the stove. And I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. Look at how amazing this bread looks. It looks so good. So I preheated the oven to 350, and I'm going to stick this in the oven for 30 minutes. It says until golden brown, and if it's getting brown too quickly, you can put like foil over it. I wish you could smell this bread through the video because it is amazing. It smells so good. So I'm going to put it in the oven now for 30 minutes. So it's been the 30 minutes that the cabbage needed, so I'm just gonna check it real quick. So that seems done. So I'm going to turn it down to low. I think that that's everything. I'm gonna cut up some parsley, just chop up some parsley to go over it. So the rest of this video will be a little bit of a montage of me putting the meal on the table, and then our reactions of tasting the meal and letting you know what it's like.
They're usually top.
I'm going for my first bite with no horseradish. Mmm. It's not as tender as it could have been.
Celery.
It doesn't smell like celery.
Celery.
That's good too. The cabbage is good.
Mmm. Cabbage is really good.
Good flavor.
Very good.
I actually liked it with the horseradish, which I was not anticipating.
It's pretty good. It's because it's horseradish crema. It's not just straight up horseradish.
Small bite of bread in your mouth, with butter on it, and that horseradish and the cabbage and corned beef. The flavors go together really well.
It's so yummy. I'm eating it, not talking.
This is very mild, nice, just enough to get the flavor of the horseradish.
I think it complements the corned beef well.
None of them are overpowering. They're all just complimentary and yummy.
So good. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment down below of anything else you'd like to see from me. He's so cute. I use the corner of this. Hi. Yes, you didn't get to eat the meal. Oh, check my vlog on actual St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, which is a week. It's next week. I am posting a sort of like history, cultural article about St. Patrick's Day and some more recipes to share. This meal was amazing. It fed 4, plus we have like probably enough, it could have fed 5 and still had 1 portion leftovers. But there's a ton of leftover vegetables, so I need to figure out something else to do with those. But I'm going to start putting it away now, and yeah, thank you for watching my video.